Welcome back to a brand new video. Today's title, Orange County home values hit a new high. That's right, median home values in Orange County are officially at an all-time high despite everything that's happening in the economy with economic uncertainty, mortgage rates rising to a 2-year high roughly, sitting over 6.5% at the time I'm making this video. And oil prices are over $100 a barrel. Still, inflation has risen. People are worried about a second round of inflation hitting the economy, but there's still pockets of the real estate market that are outperforming everywhere else, and Orange County is one of those. We're going to look today at Orange County compared to California as a whole, compare it to its neighboring market, Los Angeles, and you can see how much of an outperformance there is right now here in this market. If you're new to the channel, my name is Ian Phillips. I'm a realtor in Orange County. And I love talking about the data, talking about the economy, how everything relates to the housing market, as well as looking at some historical data and kind of getting an idea of where the market could trend over the next couple years. So we're going to dive into all of that today. If you like this video, subscribe for more. If you're looking for a realtor in Orange County, feel free to reach out. So let's get straight into it. So I want to look at this chart, which is the median estimated value of homes here. And as you can see, we are at an all-time high. $1,210,000, and that has just hit the previous high. So if you look at California as a whole, which is this orange line right here, home values are still the exact same as where they were in 2022 when the Federal Reserve started raising interest rates at a record pace. You can see both markets kind of had a decent correction, dropping by 10%-ish. Some areas more, some areas a little less. But California as a state is pretty much where it was in 2022. You can see the median home value right now is $787,000. Back in 2022, it was $794,000. So actually a little bit less than where it was back then. So really the market here has done almost nothing for 4 years. In fact, it's down slightly. Orange County dropped from $1,070,000 down to $994,000. So a pretty decent correction, but now the estimated value is sitting at $1,210,000. So that is a $200,000 price increase, or a 20% increase since the bottom here, which was January 2023. So a little over 3 years. Now that is pretty impressive. Now, before we go on to the actual data, I do want to show you Los Angeles, because Los Angeles is another large market here, and it's pretty important to see how the two compare. If it's just an Orange County specific thing where home values are hitting an all-time high, or if it's kind of Southern California as a whole. So if we look at this, Los Angeles is down from $1,030,000 to $920,000 for the median home value here. And the county, which is this orange line, down from $867,000. Oh, actually it just hit slightly higher than where it was in 2022 at $875,000. So Los Angeles, the city, is down substantially since 2022, while Los Angeles County has basically remained stagnant for 4 years. So that's pretty interesting when you compare two of the larger markets in Southern California and see that one is massively outperforming the other. One is up 200 grand in 3.5 years, and one is actually down by $100,000. So very interesting. So let's see exactly what's happening in the market right now. Kind of good news for buyers. Active listings inventory has been increasing since the start of the year. You can see in December, there were a little over 3,300 homes on the market. Now a little under 4,200 homes active on the market. Days on market is 36, kind of doing not a whole lot since February of this year. Expectation is that this would probably increase as we approach the end of the year. You can see historically it really always does. November, December, you start to get to that 70 days on market range. Pending listings, kind of an indication of buyer demand. It tells you how many homes are in escrow. What's more important is sold listings, and we'll take a look at that next, because we are seeing a lot of homes falling out of escrow. So I've really been focusing on how many homes are actually getting purchased and actually go through that full sale process and close. But pending listings, around 2,000 homes, you can see this has really been doing not a whole lot since 2022. At the start of the year, it's always very low and then goes up to about 2,000 homes getting into escrow on a monthly basis. Sold listings, let's see what's happening here. 1,800 homes. So like I said, we are seeing some homes falling out of escrow. So pending listings was 2,000 and sold was 1,800. So about 200 homes fell out of escrow, or 10% of all of the pending listings, which is pretty significant. So I've really been focusing on sold listings a lot more than pending listings, because that is the real indicator of demand right now in the market. On average, homes are selling about 0.35% below list price. At the start of the year, it was about 1.5% below list price. So that has been creeping up. That tells me that there is a little more competition in the market than the beginning of the year. Buyers aren't getting as much of a discount on average as 3-4 months ago. Now, obviously, some markets differ than others. Some markets, homes are selling above. Some markets, homes are selling 5% below list price. It really depends which city you are looking in. If you are interested in a specific city, feel free to comment it down below and I'll try and make a video about that city for you. Month supply of inventory, another great indicator of what's happening in the market. This essentially tells you how many homes are available for sale versus how many homes are getting purchased. So month supply of inventory sitting at 2.4. Back in June, July of 2025, it was at 3.2. So we have dropped a little bit since then. Expectation is this will probably start to increase into the end of the year, as it usually does. I am optimistic that inventory continues to increase. I know we're still well below the 2020 average levels of around 6,000 homes on the market. So around 4,200 homes, sellers are still going to have a little bit more control compared to 6,000 homes on the market. Who knows if this is actually going to happen? If we take a look at what active listings have done, where was that number of properties here? We got up to 5,600 homes in July of last year, and it just fell off a cliff since that happened, dropping by 2,200 homes available for sale. So it's no wonder the median home value has hit an all-time high when so many homes were just either taken off the market or got purchased. It just reduced the supply. And when you look at number of sold listings, which really hasn't changed a whole lot over the last 4 years, it just kind of bounces around between 1,200 and 1,800 on any given month. So when you have the same demand, lower supply, more than likely home values are going to increase. So that's kind of my expectation over the next year. If we cannot get inventory back to its historical average levels of around 6,000 homes on the market, 5,500 was pretty good. We started to see more discounts, a lot more credits happening. Buyers weren't really paying that much out of pocket to get into a home. Sellers were offering rate buy downs. Homes were selling for below list price. And then as soon as that changed, well, you can see what happened. New all-time high. Homes aren't really selling that much below list price. 0.35% is kind of irrelevant. So like I said, expectations moving forward, if inventory remains below its historical average, home values are likely going to continue increasing. That's just a fact. It's what the data has shown us. It's what I'm personally seeing in the market right now as someone who is pretty active. If inventory gets back to its historical average levels of around 6,000, then potentially we start to see some more price reductions, buyers taking a little bit more control. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, a lot is going to depend on what's happening in the overall economy somewhat. So if we start to see tensions decreasing, oil prices declining, inflation expectations as a result will also decline, and that could potentially allow the Federal Reserve to again start cutting interest rates in the second half of the year. As of right now, there are zero interest rate cuts priced in this year, and we might not even get one until summer of next year. But things do change on a dime, as you're well aware. So that's kind of it for the market here. If you like this video, subscribe for more. If you're looking for an agent in the area, reach out. I'd love to chat, and I'll see you in my next video.